Hey friends, at this point in your Seint journey, hopefully you have your palette set up. You've been wearing your makeup for a little bit. And so I'm just gonna go over another full face application, all in one video. At this point, hopefully you've watched the step-by-step applications in my Facebook group. If you've not joined that, please do so. I have got a video for every single step, and I broke it down so that if there's one step you're having a hard time with over another, you can just go right to that video without having to fast forward. But today we're just gonna do a full face, slow down, so you can just watch it and hopefully do your makeup at the same time if you're having trouble. If you're not having trouble, then it sounds like you need to be a Seint artist and join me on my team. So let's get started. Your palette. Your palette may not look like my palette. People get different sizes for different reasons, budget reasons, just whatever their needs are. So this is a 12, it's pretty standard. You've got your, depending again on what you ordered, your contour, your brightening, your main, a lip and cheek. That's your 4 basic hack. Anything extra is just depending on what your budget was allowed. This is bronzer, lip conditioner, which I love lip conditioner. We'll talk about that. Second layer is where I do all my powders, vanilla dust, eyeshadow, and I'm gonna do some eyebrows. So that's what we're gonna do today. Just a nice full face, slowed down video. Full face. Whenever you open up your palette, hopefully you've already got your palette set up. Everybody does their palette differently. You'll have to do whatever is good for you, but I just go in order of application. I start with my contour. This is the detail brush. Some people get the detail brush. Some people get the triple ID brush. The triple ID and the detail are both medium coverage. So it's not the most, it's not the lightest, it's right in the middle, which I find most people, they love a medium coverage. So if you got the detail, that's what I typically use. You just go with the large end. Remember, you dip into your contour. We never swipe because you're gonna pick up too much product. So we are just dipping into our contour and we are going to do a rainbow on the forehead. If you remember, a rainbow on the forehead, this is gonna help reduce the width of our forehead. Just kind of helps contour it down. The reason we even use contours, we want to minimize areas we want minimized, maximize areas we want maximized. That is the whole purpose of contour. You've heard me say before that I did not contour before Seint, so this is a relatively new concept for me. I've not been doing it my whole life or anything, so it's very easy to learn. If I can learn it, anybody can learn it. So forehead first. Then we're gonna go to the cheekbones. Cheekbones, start at the top of your ear, feel that bone. As we get older, everything starts to droop, and we're gonna fight against that. So we are going to give the illusion of some nice high risen cheekbones, and by doing that, this is how we're gonna do it. We are gonna find our cheekbone, we're gonna take our contour, and we are going to hug our cheekbone. Give your cheekbone a hug. That is gonna keep it nice and high. You don't want your contour down here, it's gonna bring your face down. You don't want it way up here because that's just too high. You want it right on that cheekbone. So again, dip your brush into your contour. Find that cheekbone and give it a hug right on that cheekbone. Just hug your cheekbone. Now you're not gonna come any further than the corner of your eye. So we're gonna keep it right just like that, on that cheekbone. You should be able to feel it and give it a hug. So tap, feel for that cheekbone, and give it a hug. Hug your cheekbone. And that's it. And whatever I have left over, I take and run it on the underside of my jawline. It just helps camouflage any jaws we might have, any little double chin going on. It helps camouflage that. So I'm just getting rid of whatever contour is there. So I'm not up here and I'm not down here. I'm literally underneath that jaw, that bone right there, and just getting rid of any contour I had left over. And that's it for contour. Now you can contour your nose. If you have, like my nose is a little wider on the end. So if I wanted to, and I don't do this every day, but I do want to show you, you can take the big end that you're contouring with. We can run it on the side, and we can put a line right down on top of our nose. Now you don't want it out here because that's gonna give the illusion of a wide nose. You keep it nice and tight. So now I get to the other side, right on the top of your nose. Like I said, don't go out any further than right here, because you don't want to give the illusion of a wide nose, or just keep it nice and tight. And that's just if you want to do nose contour. I find it's about 50-50. Some people will do, some people don't. Some people have perfect petite noses, but that is not me. Okay, now, the next part I do, sometimes I do my brightening, which is your concealer. Sometimes I do my main. For today, I'm going to do my brightening. Let me show you how we use our brightening. The brightening is the lightest color of your two colors. It's about 2 shades apart, maybe 3 shades apart. So, my lightest color, right now, it changes depending on how much sun I've gotten, how much sun I get, is white peach. And we are just going to put a little dab there, a little dab here, a little dab here, a little dab here. And you don't want to put a ton of product under your eyes because, again, the older we get, the skin there gets crepey and wrinkly, and so we don't want a lot of product sitting there. That's going to be one of our very first important tips, and it might be a little different than what you're used to. I'm still taking my brightening, and I'm going to run it down the bridge right between my contour, right down that line. And I'm going to put it on top of my lip, and I'll put it down here. And that is it for brightening. So pretty much everything else is going to be your main color. So it's the darker of the two. Right now my main color is Candlelit. So again, it depends on what, as we start getting into summertime and you start getting more color, we may need to look at your main color. But it's just going to fill in the spaces. So everywhere I've got open spaces, it's going to be my main color. So I'm going to take the big end. Again, we are dipping, we're not swiping, we're not picking up a lot of product, and we are just filling in. Filling in everywhere that we do not have color. So, and notice I'm not going on top of the contour. I'm coming down below, I'm going up above, but this makeup is meant to be a one layer, so we don't have to have multiple layers on our skin. We're keeping it nice and light. And that's probably one thing you may have realized about Seint is that it's not real thick. If you're putting on the right application amount, it's not thick at all. Now, to get into some of these smaller areas, I'm going to take my smaller end and I'm just going to go between where we put the concealer, and I'm just brushing around anywhere that we did not put the other two colors. It is just honestly fill in the blank. If you think about when you were little and you had those fill in the puzzles, fill in the paint by number, it's really just paint by number. We are just filling in anywhere we did not have color. Fill it in the spaces. Keeping it all one layer. You kind of look through it. Is there anywhere I missed? And it is just a very, very light tapping. Tap, tap, tap. You get great coverage without a lot of product, which is great for 2 reasons. It's going to last you longer, cheaper, and you just don't need a lot of product on your face. It's just going to sit better. Okay, and that's it. That is my contour. That's my brightening, concealer, and that's my main. So that's the full face on your face. Now, you may watch other videos where artists will go ahead and put their lip and cheek here. You can do that. I don't want to do that. I love blush, so I want to keep as much blush on my face as possible. I don't want to blend it away. Now, depending on the brushes that you got, sometimes people go ahead and get the second brush that I recommend, which is the blush and bronzer brush. I love this brush. I would use this for my whole face application, but it's very light. So on days I do want a light look, I'll use this brush. But for the most part, I like a medium coverage, so I always use the detail or the triple ID. But I am going to show you this brush because some people do get it, and I want you to know how to use it. It's definitely a brush I would invest in when you're ready to buy a new brush, because it is just perfect for blending. It's perfect for blending, for blush, and for bronzing. Okay, blush and bronzer. You have 2 ends. This is the more dense end. This end is perfect for pretty much everything. Blending, blush, just, blending the colors onto your face. This end is nice and fluffy and does not pick up a lot of product. This is our bronzing end, blush and bronzer. So I'll start with the small end, and I'm just going to go around now and blend. Anywhere the contour touches your hairline, you want to blend that in because you do not want to have any funky lines there. And then I go down to the bottom and I bring that contour we had underneath our jawline down just a little bit. Again, we're keeping everything nice in the same color on our neck. We don't want to have two different colors. And I promise you that if you've not gotten this application down just right, keep at it. If you will use this every day for 2 weeks, that's why I tell people give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks to let your skin adjust. Give it 2 weeks to get your application down pat. But it takes being consistent. Consistently using this makeup, you will get it. I have not had a person yet that never could get it. Now, for the rest of my face, I'm just going in. It is a combination of a stippling and a little blending, little swiping. So just a combination. Stippling is just pushing the makeup into the skin. I come down here. Now notice I'm not touching my contour. I like to save my contour on my cheekbones for the very end because that is when I do my lip and cheek. So it's a combination of swipe or swirling and pushing. Under your eyes, always very gentle. But it's just a pushing in. I take it over my eyelids. It's a great eyeshadow primer. Very gentle under your eyes. But I wanted to show you in real time how this works in one video. On your nose, where you've got your nose contour, you're being very gentle. You're just pushing in. Pushing in. If you want more information on how to nose contour, reach out to me. I'll be happy to show you some more videos. Okay, and I go around and look. I say, okay, is everything nice and blended? Did I miss any areas? Does everything look like it's covered? Do I have enough coverage where I want coverage? I tend to have a little redness right here on my cheeks, so I may dip back in to my mane very lightly. And just put a smidge more, but not too much. It's just a very light coverage makeup. One layer. Okay, and that's it. That is for the light coverage. Now, let's talk lip and cheek. This is where I wait and do my contour last. So this is Baby Watermelon. I wear Baby Watermelon almost every day. I just love pink. I'm a pink girl. I have a house full of boys. I had no girls in my house, so I think I love all things pink because I never had it. So, Baby Watermelon. Same brush, blush and bronzer brush. I'm going to dip. And I always tell people, go light it first. You can always add more, but go light it first. Contour. It's right there. Okay, same thing. Light. You can add more, but if you start out too heavy, I mean, we can fix it because cream makeup is very blendable. It's very forgiving. Now, I'm gonna take my end and I am just flicking up. You don't want to completely blend away your contour. See? You just have the shadow of a nice high cheekbone. We don't have that harsh line, but we've not completely blended it away either. We just have a nice cheekbone. Up, same thing. Contour is where it took me the longest to get. So if you have not perfected your contour, it will happen, I promise. Because I'd never contoured before Seint. But I do love how it just gives you that, you can just tell when someone's wearing Seint because they just have some nice, high, chiseled out cheekbones. It's not all just flat, all over your face, one color foundation. Now, at this point, you're like, oh, I could use some more blush. And maybe you don't love blush, and you don't have to do blush. Or you just do a little bit of blush. But me, I like my face to have some color, so I just add a little bit more blush. But that is totally preference-based. Okay, now, to help set your makeup for the day, vanilla dust. Again, same brush. This is one time you can dig in there because you want to get a little setting powder on there. And I will just kind of hit the high spots. I'm not dipping my whole face. I'm just kind of getting my blush set, my T-zone where I might get a little oily, and my nose. I love Baby Watermelon, but it's more of a matte. And I love a gloss. I'm a glossy girl. So anytime that I'm gonna wear a matte lip and cheek, I will put lots of lip conditioner. For one thing, it feels amazing. But it's gonna help my matte lip and cheek look glossy. Now, if you love a matte lip, you don't have to do this part. But I love it's just a good moisturizing gloss. Feels really good. Okay, now, my lips are ready. They're moisturized, they're glossy. Now I'm ready for my matte. I just dip in, and I just put that on my lips. And we have got all colors of lip and cheek. We've got, just show you, we got everything you want. I mean, that's one reason I became a Seint artist at first, is I thought, I want all these colors. I want all the lip and cheeks. I want all of them. Because there's different looks for different days and different, these are contours. I mean, all kinds of lip and cheeks. And so that's one reason why I started selling Seint, was I thought, my husband's gonna kill me if I try to buy, 20 lip and cheek colors. But I wanted more than just, one for my palette. So we can talk about that. Adding color to your palette. If you've ever thought about being a Seint artist, we can talk about that one-on-one. So there we go. Now, I'm gonna show you how to do bronzer, because a lot of you did get bronzer. Again, blush and bronzer brush. This is my Desert Island brush, I love it. For bronzer, you're gonna take this nice fluffy end. You don't wanna pick up bronzer all over your face because it's dark. So you take your fluffy end, you're dipping in, dip, dip, dip. And you are gonna put bronzer on the high spots of your face. See how I just did some dots there? Think about where you get sunburn or suntan. The bridge of our nose typically always gets sunshine. Our forehead, our chin. And then, because I always want to keep everything matching, I bring it down my neck. Because you always want matching. Whatever's left over, I make sure I bring it down. And then I just go back and I just blend it in. Blend in the bronzer. It just warms up your skin. That's why we even use bronzer. It just warms up it gives you a good, nice, sun-kissed Bahama Mama glow. And you can get the brush and the bronzer in a collection and save some money. But that's it. That is your full face. Let me show you really quick my eyebrows. My eyebrows I gotta give a little color to my eyebrows. They are in some need of attention. That's not for like another week, so I'm using the multitask tool. It's got this really nice flat end that's perfect for eyebrows. And I'm using an eyeshadow color. I love it when our products have dual purpose. I'm using the eyeshadow color called Oak. So I use Oak on my eyes, and I use it to color my eyebrows. See what a difference that makes? It just makes such a difference. Eyebrows are the window pane of your face. Just brush it in there. Again, it's time for me to have a little cleanup there, but this will get me through. Just kind of giving me a little color there. So again, I just dip into my Oak eyeshadow with my multitask tool, and I just follow the natural shape of my eyebrows. Nothing hard, just easy peasy. I love how everything is in our palette. I'm sure that you have loved that so far. You're learning to love the simplicity of Seint, of just taking your brush and your palette, and you can do your makeup on the go if you're running behind. You can do it in the car. You can do it at work in the bathroom stall. You can do it anywhere you go with just without having to take your whole makeup drawer full of makeup. So, thank you for your being a valued customer. I hope this was helpful. Reach out to me about any questions. I am not someone that disappears after you order. I want to be your makeup bestie for life. And so I'm here for you. I really am. I used to always go to Ulta, buy all my makeup at Ulta. There were some really nice people there. George really knew what he was talking about at our Ulta. But I could not call George at 9 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm having a hard time, George, I need some help. Or I couldn't text George and say, George, can we do a Zoom call and go over my makeup? Can I stop by your house? Can we meet at the coffee shop? Can you send me a video application of how to do bronzer? I couldn't do that with George, but you have me and you can do that with me. I am here for every single step that you need of your Seint journey, whether it be how do you apply lip and cheek, How do you apply bronzer? I want to have a party. I want to get some free makeup. I want to start a business and be a Seint artist and earn money and get a reduced get a reduced price on my makeup, and tell all my friends and family about makeup, especially the ones that need some help with their makeup. Wherever you are, I'm here for you. So again, you've got my number. You've got me on Facebook, Instagram, email, phone number, text, chat. I'm here for you. Let me know how I can help you, and I'm just excited for you to start really loving your makeup, wearing it every day, telling everyone you know about it, and let me know what I can do for you. I'm here for you always.